Hi everyone and welcome to Season 10, Episode 2 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So there's so much that I can tell you about of the season so far. We're only 8 games into the domestic league campaign, but we've had a big injury to a key player, one of our recent summer purchases. We've finally got some goals from our young striker that we've been trying to get to work for the last season or so. We're doing really well in the league. And then the board decided to sell one of my best players from underneath me. And I had to replace him in the last couple of days of the transfer window. So let's go and check it all out. So straight in we go, trying to figure all of this lot out. So Fawad Ben Amor, who was my left fullback, has been sold from underneath me by the board, basically. And it was a decent amount of money that we got in for the level of club that we're at. So I wasn't overly disappointed because I thought I would get a very good replacement in for the money that I had. But in truth be told, it was slightly harder than I wanted it to be, only because nobody really wanted to come to us. At the level that I was then trying to buy at, I could not get anybody to be interested in joining the club. We are still a very low reputation, small club for the Championship, and it's causing a few problems in terms of the attraction of players. But Ben Amor has left the club. His value currently says 5.25 million. They paid us a grand total of 8.25 million, raising to 10 million with some payments in there. A decent deal. And we bought in a player that maybe you'll remember if you've been on this series right the way from the beginning, because several seasons ago we had Jack Fenn on loan from Plymouth. And now we've paid way over the odds for an okay player at this level, but nothing that's going to set the world alight. But this is the best option I could find. And once I knew that I could potentially get him, he had a release fee in his contract, and so I had to pay it, basically. So £4.8 million absolutely smashes the transfer record that we set earlier in the summer with Marcus Thompson for £1 million. But Jack Fenn, paid over the odds, but comes in and fulfills the left fullback role. I think he's a better player than Ben Amor is, potentially. I think there's a few more bits about him in very key areas. His mentals are pretty decent. There's all-round physicals. In key areas in the technicals, he's good in terms of crossing, marking, tackling, etc. He's got some good work rate, some really pretty good stamina. So overall, is a good option. Now, just to put you back into context, this is when we had him. We had him on loan in the Championship a few seasons ago. So he has played for us in the Championship already. He hasn't lit the place up at all wherever he's been. But I think with the players that we've currently got around him in our matchday squad, I think we can get more out of him this time round. He's played a couple of games for us, look reasonable. So Jack Fenn comes back into the club permanently on a big deal. And it was just a bit of an interesting one, really, just to have a player swept out from under you. We all know what that feels like playing Football Manager. I wasn't expecting it at all. I rejected one bid from... who did we sell him to in the end? Was it Portsmouth? I rejected one bid for him anyway for Ben Amor, but eventually they came back with another one. The owner of the club took over and sold him from underneath me. But there we go. That's what we've been able to do with it. We've got a little bit of money in and around the club a bit more because we didn't get all of the transfer fee because that's where the percentages are set at. So we've got 13 million in the bank, which actually for a club our size in our situation isn't too bad at all. Not so much of a transfer budget left, but still a fair amount of wages we can play around with if needed to if we need to bring anybody in the summer. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that. And the other thing I'm really happy with is Truro City, after 8 matches, are sitting second in the Championship. Not in any way what I was expecting, if I'm totally honest. When we played the first match against West Brom in the Championship and got a draw from it, I thought that was a decent result. And I thought we might be in for a little bit of an inconsistent season. But since then, we've been going great. So let's go and check out all of the recent results, and I can show you exactly how we've managed to do it. So here we are in the fixture list. These are the fixtures that we've had so far, and you can see that we've been very consistent. We did go out of the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, in the first round. I rotated the side completely. I wasn't particularly bothered about a cup run. I just need to keep focusing on the league. So in the end, we went out on penalties, and actually, I wasn't too disappointed by that. We've also been beaten by Blackburn recently in the league, 1-0, but it was very close. We couldn't quite finish the game off ourselves. But other than that, you can see that we've been scoring consistently. We've been getting a lot of positive wins. And the early part of the season was all due to this guy, Abu Bakar, who finally, after last season being a bit inconsistent, has now got 6 goals in 7 matches this season and is beginning to look like the prospect I always thought he probably should. He's a really very good striker, and I think if he can continue this sort of form for the next few months, then we've got an absolute superstar on our hands. So he has come in properly this season and done his job really well and put the ball in the back of the net. It's gone a little bit quiet over the last couple of games, but you'll see the name of Battersby here twice, and that is his direct replacement in rotating that striking position. So he has also come in and got 3 in 2 games. So you can see our strike force is working very well. Unfortunately, we have picked up a bit of an injury that has had a bit of a reshuffle in terms of our attacking midfield line that I'll tell you all about and show you when we go into the squad tactical page in the build-up to our match today, which is against Leeds United, which we haven't even mentioned yet. And that's going to be a fun match because they're really up top of the division with us in 4th position. So it's going to be tricky. But yeah, you can see goals are plenty. We have conceded pretty much 1 a game all the way through. We need to try and suppress that a little bit. But overall, we're sitting in 2nd and it's absolutely mad. So, injuries and suspensions today will cause a complete reshuffle of my attacking midfield line and a little bit deeper as well. But, to be fair, a bit of a reshape and a reshuffle had happened anyway. Now, the big injury that we've had is this guy, Thompson, who came in the summer as our attacking midfield option. And he started okay, but he only played a couple of games for us. And then he got a big injury that took him out for about 3 months. Now, currently, he's been through a fair amount of that already. So he's still got about 5 weeks to go. But you can see that we've lost him already for about 6 or 7 weeks. And that is a big loss just because it doesn't enable us to rotate the options there as much as I'd like. So Joe White, for example, has had to come in and play in that role. And he's done okay for us. 7 games, 1 goal, 2 assists from that position. Not too bad. But I'd like that rotating option back again. So White is playing in that role. And we've had to reshuffle the wings today specifically. But at the start of the season, my 2 wingers were this guy, Wright Phillips, who has been playing very well for us over the last couple of seasons. And then on the left-hand side, I've been playing Sarmiento, cutting in off that left-hand side onto his right foot. But today, it's all reshaped. Because Wright Phillips has picked up an injury and we can't play Ibrahim because he's ineligible because Leeds are his parent club. But in the last couple of games, it's actually been Ibrahim on this right-hand side and Apoku down this left-hand side that have been setting the place alight. If we go and have a look at Apoku, who, as I say, has played the last few games, 7 games, 2 goals, 1 assist from the left wing. And then we go and check in with Ibrahim as well, on loan from Leeds, as I say, so he can't play today. But he's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 7 matches. So those 2 players coming in on the wide areas in placement of Wright Phillips and Sarmiento have really done the job for us, with Abu Bakar or Battersby up top. And so that's been the reshape that we've had. We also lost Herbie Kane a little bit to an injury over the last week or so. So Adeniran comes in today. Herbie is back on the bench for today, but not quite ready to start. So you can see that we have got a couple of injuries. We've got a couple of players coming back from knocks, and we've got that one ineligible player through Ibrahim because of Leeds being his parent club. But it's going brilliantly well. That forward line of Opoku, Ibrahim on the right, supported by White with Abu Bakar or Battersby up top, have been scoring the goals. Now it's all about whether we can settle Fenn in at the back in left fullback and try to find a way to make it us harder to beat. Now, we changed our style of play over the summer from the 4-3-3 kind of counter-attacking style into the 4-2-3-1, a little bit more front foot tiki-taka. So that's going to explain some of why we're letting in the goals. But we're scoring so much more than our opponents on 90% of our games. So overall, it's just going brilliantly well. So cue a really hard game on an episode against Leeds United, who are sitting in 4th. So we get really, really stuffed, and you don't believe that I've been able to do it. But anyway, we'll see what happens today. The squad are in good spirits. The squad are in good form. So let's get into today's game and see how we get on with it. We've got Mbayu in goal, Fink at right back, Fenn at left back, Reddy and McCann in central defence, Adeniran, Williams, White in central midfield, Sarmiento on the right, Opoku on the left, Abu Bakar up top with a bench of Archer, Clark, Sarula, Kane, Chiwunga, Smith and Battersby. So as I say, let's get into today's game and see what happens. So because of where we are in the league and because of the fact that we're playing really well at the moment, I've gone full bore with pumping the fist and saying this is a great opportunity to show all the pundits they've been right to back you. Put the pressure on the set of players that we have at Truro City at home against Leeds in front of pretty much a sellout house, which is going to be fantastic for us as well. Put the pressure on to see if we can perform and properly give them a good game. Now, ultimately, if we can't quite manage it today, it's not the end of the world, but a little bit of momentum goes a long way. So hopefully we can keep it going. Early stages, 5 minutes in, Leeds have had the ball and they've worked it down the left-hand side to West. He has a shot at goal, but it's a very narrow angle and the goalkeeper claims it with no problems. Just a little bit of a warning. If you can hear any banging noises or anything in the background, I've just got somebody on the outside of the house doing some work. I can hear it a little bit. Don't know if you can, but I thought I'd put an apology in there just in case you can. And whilst I've got you here as well, at 18 minutes and nothing's happening, don't forget that I'm also now on Twitch at twitch.tv/the United City FM. Most weekdays from 3 till 5 p.m. UK time, you'll find me there. It's been a little bit hit and miss this week, but we're hopefully back on it as the next couple of days go by. So come and find me there and check out my AC Milan save that we've got going there. But for now, it's all about Truro City here on YouTube. And again, Leeds have got the ball, but we sort of just about won it in the defensive area, but we put it into no man's land and Leeds win it back again. Come down again the left-hand side with West, and if the first shot is not a shot, the first cross was blocked, but then they keep hold of the ball and they've worked another good angle. The goalkeeper came out into no man's land, and we're very lucky because the goalkeeper fluffed his lines a little bit there, came out too quickly, too rashly, and the striker got it round him and in the goal, but it was already an offside decision, but quite a narrow one. A little bit fortunate. At 37 minutes, we have ridden our luck a little bit in this first half. Not too many chances created, to be honest. It's been a bit quiet. But hopefully, as the game progresses, we can eke out 1 or 2 chances. And here's a chance for the first one. Fink down the right-hand side had a good chance for a cross. And it is blocked. And again, Leeds will come back at us. And they do it really very smoothly and quickly. And they've worked a brilliant opportunity. And it's been coming all the way through that first half. That quick counter-attacking style that they've got has been a real bane in our side, to be honest, a pain in our side. And eventually it tells. A ball over the top. I don't think there was an offside on this occasion, but we will just make sure that they're checking that. But ultimately, they've put us to the sword eventually, having had 2 or 3 attempts very similar to that, and we haven't been able to learn from that and secure our back line. And we go in 1-0 down at half-time, and it's been a little bit of a nothingy kind of game, really, for us. They've had a bit more of the highlights than we have. We've both had 3 shots at goal. We've done okay in putting those on target, but they obviously aren't consistent and often enough for us to properly test the keeper. A little bit more possession for us, which is good. But as I say, not quite the cutting edge so far. So we're going to have to point the finger and say, I expect to see a much better half from you second half. We go straight back out. I'm not changing anything there, but we'll go into the shouts and fire them up for the second half. And in a little while, if it doesn't quite change it, we'll probably push into a more attacking mentality rather than the positive mentality that we're currently sitting in, just to see if we can pin them in a little bit. But so far, in this second half again, it's been a little bit quiet. Only 1 shot at goal from us. Here's another chance, and it's a good chance. It was a brilliant free kick that went to the far post. Williams heads it back across goal. I think it was Williams, or was it McCann head it back across goal? We'll just see on the highlight here. McCann head it back across. Goalkeeper flapped at it, and Williams was in the middle of the 6-yard box. It fell really nicely to him, and he smashes it into the back of the net for 1-1 just before the 60-minute mark. So here we go again. The momentum has slightly changed. It feels like a little bit in the game. We started on the highlight, but now we've messed ourselves up. Everybody had gone forward too much, and they counter-attack really well. And again, we're very lucky that they made some poor decisions in that final few moments. West, coming in off that left-hand side, decided to shoot at goal from a very narrow angle. And fortunately, it hit the side netting, and we can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. And here's a throw-in for Leeds. Again, they're going to win the loose ball. We're still not winning those loose balls. It drives me to distraction at times how easy it is for the AI to win those sorts of loose balls all over the pitch, it feels like. But that's just a gripe of mine, maybe. Corner kick comes in. A very good save by Mbaye. It goes back out again, and they have another effort and blocked by the defence. Again, they pick up the loose ball and work it round the top of the penalty box and then have a very wayward shot. And it's all about the goalkeeper on that particular occasion. 74 minutes gone. We're going to make a couple of personnel changes, bring some fresh legs in. You can see, for example, Joe White is really struggling. We're going to take him out immediately and put Chiwunga into that attacking midfield role. He's got enough creativity to be able to do it, although it's not a natural for him necessarily. We're having a really bad day from Abu Bakar. Of course we are, because I talked about him at the beginning of this particular episode. So fortunately, we've got Battersby on the bench, and we've seen that they've both been scoring goals this season. So he'll come in. And then we've got one more to make, and we've got a reasonable amount of conditioning throughout the rest of the side, a reasonable amount of average rating from all of the players. So it's just about who maybe, I think, can do a job for us here. And one of the things that I did notice was it was suggested that I replace Adeniran in midfield just for, I think, conditioning issues plus a little bit of a low performance. So I am going to do that, and I'm going to put Kane back in, Herbie Kane, who will come back in and play that holding role for us, and just get him back to match sharpness as well, having had a little bit of a breakthrough injury himself. So those are the changes we're going to make. I don't feel the need to change anything about the style of play just at the moment. We've got 10 minutes to go. For the last few minutes, maybe I'll think about going into the attacking mentality. Let's do that. But I feel like a good 1-1 draw is decent for us. Having said that, Leeds have potentially got the last highlight of the match, maybe. At 87 minutes, they're on the ball in their defensive unit. Lots of space out wide right for them, and they put a very good ball into the back post. The run was not seen by the defender, but again, Mbaye comes to our rescue in goal, and he's performed very nicely today. And it's his performance, more than anybody else's, I would suggest, that have taken us to a very credible creditable 1-1 draw against a very tough Leeds United. In the end, you can see that the game was fairly even. Similar amounts of shots at goal. We had a few more on target. Possibly should have made a little bit more from one of those. 53% possession for us is not too bad at all against one of these higher up teams in this particular division. So again, overall, I'm actually pretty happy with how this team is shaping up this season. If only we could have got a little bit of quality in front of goal from one of our two strikers who, unfortunately today, went a little bit quiet. But there we go, 1-1, a point gained against a very difficult side. So I'm a happy guy. So that point keeps us in second position, just about over Leeds United themselves, who are still 1 point behind us, having just played that draw out. And we are now 3 points behind Fulham. So we are still in the shout. And even early in the season, as it is, you start to question the thought of, we really need to be making sure that we at least finish in these playoffs, given the start that we've had so far. And hopefully, if it continues to improve, we'll be able to achieve just that. As said last episode, I really genuinely did not know how well this side was going to do this season. We had to change a few people in the summer, a few players. It's always difficult to know how they're going to come in a very, very hard division. The Championship in England is really hard to get out of because there are teams coming down from the Premier League that have got millions of pounds to spend. I mean, Aston Villa have spent like £30 million in the summer or something, and I haven't. Quite simply. So there's a big discrepancy there. So it is a tough division. So far, though, it's going phenomenally well. And we're doing really well in terms of the goals for and against charts and all of the other bits and pieces that we need to. And as I say, we sit in second position, easy for me to say, which I'm really happy about. So what are we going to come back for next episode? Let's go back into the schedule and just check out the run of form that we've had. A little bit of a dip here and there, but not too bad. And now we get to move forward. So what I'm thinking is coming back for maybe the Villa match. I know we're going to get some really tricky games in the episodes. We'll play one or two slightly easier sides as well. But when these big sides come around, Villa are potentially the favourites to go up this season. It's worth having a go. So we're going to go to Villa Park in the next episode, away from home, and play Aston Villa. They have started okay, but for where they were expected to be, they're currently sitting in 6th position, but obviously still attached very much so in terms of how distant they are from us in terms of points. But overall, they should be doing slightly better than they are. Are they going to pick up in the next few weeks and cause us a big problem? We'll have to find out next episode. Until then, though, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the return to Truro City after a little bit of a break recently. But here we go, partway through season 10, and it's going very, very well. Is the Premier League on the horizon? Maybe, maybe not, who knows, but it's going to be fun finding out. So thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by lots more people in the YouTube algorithms. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.